Hello, my name is Mr. Benton, and I am here to review the latest edition of Monday Night Raw. Now, I've set up this YouTube channel. I'm going to talk about wrestling and many other things, but I decided basically to create it mainly to talk about wrestling for now, as my love for wrestling, WWE, the last few years has just been a bit, it's been a bit meh. It's been a bit all over the place. From somebody who used to religiously watch wrestling week in, week out, every show. I used to stay up, I'm in the UK and I used to stay up and watch it live each and every week. That's how addicted to wrestling I am as a fan. Now, it's sort of died over the last year or two a little bit. I used to attend events, but it's been dying a slow death. I've created this channel to be able to talk about wrestling freely, and we will see what comes of it. Basically, we'll see if my interest in wrestling grows again. From a hardcore wrestling fan, I'm pretty hardcore, but the content that the WWE have been throwing out the last couple of years, you could say it's been a bit hit and miss, couldn't you, really? But I'm here to review the latest episode of Monday Night Raw, that episode being Monday the 13th of January, 13th, lucky for some. And yes, I'm looking down a lot. It is purely because I've written notes on my phone, because we tend to watch wrestling and a lot of us tend to forget, let's be honest, what happens afterwards. It's been that forget-worthy as of late. First off, apologies for the hat. I've tried to recreate a JBL hat here. I don't know if it's worked. I've got my Sasha Banks t-shirt on, wearing Loud and Proud. You can't beat Sasha. Best in the women's division. I have a chain as well. Legit wows. The legit wows. So yeah, I also have a bit of a cold as well. What a great time to start filming, eh? What a great time to start doing a YouTube channel. I'm gonna sip of my drink. And we will get going. So, Monday Night Raw. We are leading up to the most exciting time of the year as a WWE fan, I should hope, and that is the road to WrestleMania. Royal Rumble arguably being, now I think it eclipses WrestleMania, and I truly believe that the Royal Rumble is the best pay-per-view of the entire year. Yes, purely for the Royal Rumble matches, but it's what we all want, right? Royal Rumble matches. Why we like the Rumble, I don't know. I think you're just kind of hoping for a big surprise each and every year, aren't you? So, Monday Night Raw review for the 13th of January 2020. 2020, new decade. Look at those teeth. Yeah, I got British teeth, eh? British, proper British. So, Monday Night Raw started this week with Randy Orton. Now, opinion, I imagine, amongst the fans tends to be quite divided within Randy Orton. I mean, I like the guy. Yes, he's boring on the microphone at times. Yes, he's got the character of a dry wall, and when he talks, it's... I think everybody just goes... But he's a legend, and I think we have to accept that. Anyway, Monday Night Raw started with Orton. It started with Orton coming out. AJ Styles interrupted him pretty early on. I haven't watched much wrestling over the holiday season, which is rare for me because I'm a super fan, supposedly. But the content hasn't been great as of late that they've been chucking out, and I haven't been watching half as much. But anyway, the first segment, you had AJ and you had Orton. They were bickering on something to do with the US title, was it? Is one of them got the US title? I can't even remember. Anyway, Drew McIntyre come out, and to my surprise, he's a face. If somebody could tell me when that happened, that would be great, because I have no idea when Randy Orton turned face. Not a Scooby, but apparently he's a face now. So he comes out, they're in Kentucky, and he's throwing these jibes, which, do you know what? I'm digging. I'm digging Drew McIntyre. Why the F not? He's coming out, he's having a good time. I have no idea when he turned, I have no idea when he become a face, but I am digging this direction they are taking it down. Let Drew McIntyre have a bit of fun, let's just not go back to those 3MB days. So Drew McIntyre comes down, he interrupts them, he says, Kentucky, what do you want to see here? Do you want to see us bickering all night, or do you want to see us bloody fight? And guess what they chose? The Kentucky crowd wanted to see a bloody fight. So it ended up in a good triple threat match, actually. Drew McIntyre, I think, before the match made a little jibe about the Claymore being bigger than the RKO, which forced Randy Orton to throw the microphone into the ring mat. Randy's not a fan of our jokes. So the match happened. There was a few good little spots. It ended with a Claymore kick, I believe. I believe it was an RKO to AJ Styles, and then a Claymore kick, and then Drew McIntyre steals the win. So overall, if I'm going to rate it out of 10, which I'm going to do because I've already rated them. If I'm going to rate it out of 10, I would rate it a 7 out of 10. It was a good start. It was a nice little segment. It led into a nice little match, nice little finish, and Drew McIntyre's now face. 7 out of 10. After that, we had a Seth Rollins backstage segment. That was part 2 of Le Champion, Chris Jericho. Different company. Should not be naming them, should I? I've been watching them. Anyway, we went backstage, we had Seth Rollins, we got the AOP, who they're budded up with now. I did see all of this, even though I haven't been watching regularly over Christmas. Sorry, my nose is running. Cold. Why I decided to record when I got a cold, I have no idea, but hey. Seth Rollins was backstage, he was talking to the AOP. It was one of those really sort of generic, over the top Seth Rollins segment. I don't know what it is about Seth Rollins, but the right thing to do was to turn him and make him heel. No doubt. It was definitely not working as a face. They hated him, and especially after that Bray Wyatt and the Fiend's shtick, that was the final straw, the nail in his coffin. He was going to have to turn heel at some point. He did. Is it working? I don't think it's working at the minute. But what I will say is it was needed, and we just gotta hope that it improves. But something about Seth Rollins, something about his character, something about the way he delivers promos, it feels so heavily scripted. It just feels like they're just handing him the script and he's just going way over the top. It's theatrical. It is very, very scripted, theatrical. It feels like he's trying to fake it. It feels like he's trying to force it. He had a little backstage segment with the AOP. He was trying to rile them up. It just felt very stale, very, very forced. I don't want to be saying this, but they've told me to say it, so I'm going to deliver with as much emphasis as possible. That's what it felt like to me. So if I'm going to rate the segment, I give it a 3 out of 10. It was one of his face segments, but this time he's doing it as a heel. Got to see improvement there really with Seth in all areas. Wrestler, phenomenal, but character and promos, he's still finding himself, isn't he? We'll have to see where he goes from here. There's some interesting developments though with this new team. I quite like the fact that he's calling himself the Monday Night Messiah. I dig it, it works. See how long it lasts though before it starts to get the golden stool. Next we had a Shane Mojo Riley match. It is what you expect. It had Mojo Riley. The guy just seems to show up, doesn't he? And he just seems to either contribute to somebody's promo if they need somebody in that interview or promo to help advance the story, or he just seems to be chucked into a match to help a superstar who hasn't got a match and to just help them advance with their... So it's like a glorified squash match, and that's what he's being used for at the minute. I mean, what was all that stuff that with Eric Rowan and this cage, and he reacted backstage last week. What's that about? What did he see in the cage? Luke Harper's head or something? I don't know. Or a little bit of the bubbly, maybe. You can't bring that here. Anyway, that match, nah. 5 out of 10. Filler match. I'm only giving it a 5 out of 10 because that's 6:30. How Ricochet does it, I bloody don't know. Followed by this, we had a Street Profits promo. Really excited by these guys. They have a lot of energy. They have a lot of fire. They bring the smoke. They bring the smoke. I like them. They remind me of The Rock a little bit, but there's two of them. Especially, not Dawkins, the other one. I can't remember his name. That's really bad, isn't it? I got to know him so much as the Street Profits. I watched them in NXT. I've watched them grow, but I just know them as the Street Profits. I always know that the one's Darkins, because he always said Darkins. He always says Darkins. I can't remember the other name. I can't remember sort of the skinny, muscly one. I can't remember his name. That's really bad. The shaved head one. You know who I'm on about. But anyway, the segment was... Yeah. They said something about the Oscars. They were going on about the Oscars. To be fair, Seth Rollins, let's go back to that Seth Rollins for 1 minute. When Seth Rollins does promos, it's like he's trying to win an Oscar. The acting's not good enough to do it. But anyway, I digress. This Street Profits promo, they mentioned something about the Oscars. They mentioned something about Charlotte Flair coming out. It wasn't their best. It's a 3 out of 10 for me. I'm going to rate it. They've done better. Next we have Flair versus Sarah Logan, who just decided to crop up like they all have from the Riot Squad the last few weeks, because we got Liv Morgan back in unusual circumstances, to say the least. And then we had Charlotte Flair versus Sarah Logan, and this is a continuation of, I believe, what happened last week. I didn't watch last week's Raw, because like I said, I've only really just, after Christmas, got back watching WWE at the minute, because it's the build-up, the road to WrestleMania. There was apparently a situation where Sarah Logan destroys Charlotte Flair's robe. I mean, you can't be doing that, can you? You can't be destroying another woman's robe. Robe. Well, I don't know how you're going to destroy the robe, just dig into it. But with her teeth. But anyway, the robe, yeah, they do silly stuff like this, don't they? I mean, I think we had a few months ago, Bobby Roode had his robe flushed down the loo, and he was giving it the old, no. He was giving it all, I fell off my seat. He was giving it all of that, wasn't he? And it was a similar situation. I guess you could say, well, it's from the Nature Boy. As I believe King pointed out, it's the robe of the Nature Boy. It was given to, it was handed down from generations and generations. But, yeah. Apart from that, they had a big brawl on Raw last week. They had about effectively just a big brawl again on Raw this week. There wasn't really much to say about it. The way I see Sarah Logan is you don't really see her on the microphone, do you? You always see her as part of a group. The Riot Squad, it worked. She was a part of a group. I don't know. Do you know, like, sometimes you get small superstars like AJ Lee. By the way, I loved AJ Lee. Great to see her back. And the other one as well, her husband, whoever his name is. But remember, she used to have Tamina by her side, like the big brute, and it just worked. I see Sarah Logan as like a brute. Just like being a brute. So someone like Alexa Bliss, who is a bit of a wolf, who just goes around there and has everybody else do her bidding. I see Sarah Logan, yeah, be a brute for Alexa Bliss. Book it, Vince, and make another billionaire. 3 out of 10. I think that's all I can give it. KO and Samoa Joe segment after this with the Big Show, who's back, and he's a face. I would make a joke about Big Show face and heel turns. It's just not worth it, is it? Because he'll be a heel again by the Royal Rumble. So KO, Samoa, Big Show, they were there. They were bantering. It felt natural. It felt alright. I like Kevin Owens. I like Samoa Joe. I like the Big Show. 5 out of 10. It was alright. Lesnar and Heyman. Ugh. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. I've no doubt that it causes huge debates in the WWE fan base. Whether you like Brock Lesnar, whether you agree with what he's doing, whether you don't like Brock Lesnar. I like Brock Lesnar. I like what they do with Brock Lesnar, the special attraction with Heyman. It works. It's perfect. Should he be champion though? Probably not. That's probably where the issue lies, I think, with most people. He shouldn't be champion. But anyway, they came out for a segment. Brock showed up last week, I think for the first time since Survivor Series, something like that. Man's got to have his holidays. He's getting $5 million a year or so from the WWE, but the man's got to have his holidays. And if he wants a holiday, you let Brock Lesnar have a holiday. What are you going to tell him otherwise? Anyway, they came out, and it was interesting because obviously Heyman, master manipulator, master on the microphone. He comes out, he gives it all the usual. They're in Kentucky. He makes a joke about Kentucky. Well, I'm English, so you can probably make jokes about me, my accent, my teeth, and everything. But he was in Kentucky, he made a joke about them, they didn't like it. He mocked them for the fact that he's just insulted them, and now they're sort of chanting along with him, as when he's just like, Paul Heyman, and they went, Paul Heyman. He was like, what are you doing, you idiots? And it basically led to a walkout, essentially. Whether it was scripted or not, I don't know. I imagine it was on the fly. It's Heyman. He's a genius. He probably did it. It got tremendous heat for the rest of the segment. It was brilliant. He ended up getting to the ramp. They were booing like crazy. He carried on. He then eventually got back into the ring. The heat from the crowd is brilliant. They were loving it. They were eating it up. Heyman had the wrapped around that finger. Amazing. Loved the guy. It was a great promo. And then randomly, oh yeah, spoilers. There was a lot of spoilers being mentioned by Paul Heyman, as Paul Heyman does. And R-Truth came out and interrupted, because I think it was a sort of a thing he was going on about. That's the truth, the whole truth, and of course R-Truth being R-Truth. It was his calling, and he was called, and he comes wandering down the ramp like only R-Truth can. It was brilliant. It was R-Truth being R-Truth, a complete idiot. He thought Paul Heyman was the one entering the Rumble, so he declared, I, R-Truth, I'm going to be in the Rumble, and I'm going to eliminate Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman in turn says, mate, I'm not in the Rumble. It's Lesnar, you fool. Lesnar's there, like, he's giving it the old waffle, giving it a laugh. R-Truth's like, okay, I am the 7-Eleven 48-7 European TV 24/7 champion, as, you know, all the sort of nicknames that he has for this 24/7 title. He's like, I now officially undeclaring myself for the Royal Rumble, when he found out that Brock Lesnar was in fact the one entered and not Paul Heyman. It was good antics. The crowd loved it. The crowd loved R-Truth. The crowd loved what Heyman was doing. The kind of stuff I want to start seeing from Seth Rollins, just that sort of, to be able to just do it on the fly, to be spontaneous, and for it all not to feel so scripted. Sit down with Heyman, Seth. Take a few lessons in the week, just a few hours a week. Sit down with Heyman. Many have done it in the past. It's benefited them. It'll benefit you too, if you get what I mean. And yeah, it basically ended with R-Truth. You know, he just wanted to go. He started dancing. He did the splits, and inevitably, Lesnar clotheslined him, destroyed him. That was the end of that. Great segment. I really enjoyed it. 9 out of 10 for me. It was brilliant. For just the way that Heyman manipulated the crowd, and also just the R-Truth and Paul Heyman antics and how it all worked. And we know that Brock Lesnar is a man of very few words, and I'm glad it is that way. But when the man does speak, it usually has meaning. And then he just, what was it he said at the end? Just right at the end, he grabbed the microphone after he decked Truth, and he just said, that's what's up. Brilliant. That's what we want to see. Love it. But anyway, the Bobby and Lana, I mean, they had their wedding, didn't they? That didn't really get me going, if I'm going to be honest. I love a WWE wedding. I really do. I remember AJ's and Daniel Bryan's on Raw 1000 many years ago. Classic. AJ ends up being the general manager of Raw at the end of it. It was brilliant. Left Daniel at the altar. And it's like the whole no. It really kicked off both of them, really, didn't it? This Bobby and Lana one though, it's all been a bit meh. And it's all been a bit meh. I mean, Lana, she just keeps talking, she keeps saying that, and she just keeps talking, and she really starts talking, and she really starts saying, I'm this, I'm that, I'm famous, I'm super famous, I'm great, I'm blah, 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 blah. You're this, you're that, and if he says this and he says that. That's basically what Lana is to me. That's basically the way I interpret it. So it all ended up in another match between Bobby and Rusev. We were led to believe, I believe, that this was finally the rubber match. I think they had a match at TLC. It was alright. So we had this one on Raw. I mean, I'd love to know what Rusev thinks about all this. Can you imagine having to do a storyline where your wife is getting so intimate with another man? I'd be asking questions. I'd be asking serious questions. That's the kind of stuff. That's how affairs start, ladies and gentlemen. It led on to another match, didn't it? I mean, can I say it's good to have King back. It really is good to have King back on commentary, just for the really old dad jokes, the really puns. He makes a lot of puns during this match as well. I think he made one about a knee. Rusev had a right leg and a left leg, and now his right leg after what Bobby just done to him is now his bad leg. But the match was kind of what you'd expect. This second match on Raw between Bobby and Rusev, it was essentially lots of fists, lots of shots of Lana, and it ended as I expected. Liv Morgan obviously interrupted because she was at the wedding. She got involved because all the Riot Squad members are just coming back, just because. So she does her thing. Lana grabs, I believe it was a fan's bottle of Coke or something like that, flicks it in the face, and it distracted Rusev. Bobby gets the pin. We all know where this is going. It's going to end up a rubber match, mixed tag team. I thought we was going to be at the Royal Rumble, but it was announced on Raw next week, so why not? The match, I don't know, 5 out of 10. The crowd didn't really seem into it to me. It was all just a bit static. It was all just a bit dead. So we moved on. They had 2 segments off of the back of this. Bobby and Lana. Lana going on and 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 on. And this is basically where we got the challenge that I've just said about Bobby and Lana. That segment was probably very meh, 4 out of 10. Then you had, I think, a Viking Raiders match that I just got to skip through because it was just a squash match. And they were against the same brothers, I think. It was like, as you expect, about 2 minutes long. They hit the finish of the Viking Experience, and that was that. That was dusted. So the Raiders, you know, the Viking Raiders won the squash match, and then we cut backstage to a Rusev and Liv Morgan segment where basically they just confirmed that, yeah, go on then, you want to mix tag match? Let's do it. Let's meet next week in the squared circle on Monday Night Raw. Let's do it. It wasn't a great promo though, really. Again, it was all a bit too scripted. About 3 out of 10 for me for that. And then we got to the contract signing between Becky and Asuka. And having a rematch at the Royal Rumble, because obviously they locked horns last year, and it was actually Asuka who won the match last year. Becky then went on to win the Royal Rumble match, and it's kind of Becky Mania since then, hasn't it? That's sort of what was the real beginning of the instigator of it. I think it happened a little bit before that, the Man, but that's where she really sort of kicked off the Rumble win, wasn't it? So we had the contract signing, you know. WWE contract signings, much like weddings, you expect it to have, you know, trash talk. One signs, the other signs. They all give it that I'm better than you. I'm going to win. I'm the best. I'm going to take the title. I'm going to keep the title. They all give it all a bit of that, don't they? And then someone usually ends up through a table. But this was rather unique for contract signings as WWE goes, and I really enjoyed it. It had, essentially, I mean, you could give it 10 out of 10 for just Becky's outfit. I love the Kill Bill outfit that she's got on, the bodysuit. Just wear it. Just wear it forever. Just wear it every Monday Night Raw. Just wear it every interview you do. Wear it in bed. It's great. I really like it. It suits her. It works. Just wear the Kill Bill outfit forever. Just do it, Becky. Seriously. If you ever watch this, and I don't even know if anybody will ever watch this, to be honest. I'm basically just talking to myself into a camera. But essentially, yeah, just keep the outfit on. So obviously she comes down, Asuka comes down, Kairi Sane with the umbrella, you know, giving a good spin. She looked badass as well, to be honest. They all look pretty badass. And instead of it going the typical route that you would expect of a contract signing, of what I've just mentioned, and someone ended up through a table, it went a different route. You had Oscar going, as she does, in her native language, and does it very well. She gave it a little bit of that. They basically both just signed the contract. They just got on with it. Kai Sane was to the side, giving it a bit of intimidation with Becky sitting there, and they just sort of got on with it. And the contract was signed. They were all sort of gonna go. I can't remember exactly how Becky ended up on the outside, but essentially Becky ends up on the outside. Oscar ends up giving her that green. Actually, no, she did it in the ring, didn't she? She actually green missed her in the ring, and I believe Becky rolled to the outside. And I don't know, I quite like the green mist. It's been used obviously many times in the past, but it's working for Oscar. She doesn't have to speak as much, just so she can just spit people. So she did that to Becky. Becky rolls out the ring. Becky sells it very well. Becky grabs the microphone. She delivers a pretty good little speech as to build up to the Royal Rumble. Or like, you're my toughest challenger. I imagine Ronda Rousey is, but she goes, you're my toughest challenger. I have to prepare differently for you. I'm going to beat you, you bitch. She didn't say you bitch, but she might as well have. It was very good. She should really sit Seth down after he's finished with those lessons of Paul Heyman. You know, he's with Becky now. You'd think Seth would just sit down, Becky would just give him a lesson or two on how to act natural and how to use the microphone, because Becky is a pro and Becky is a badass, and I would give that segment 7 or an 8 because it was just quite unique for contract signings. You usually just expect the usual stick, and they pulled something different, so well done. We had a backstage segment then, I think, between Andrade and Selena Vega. It was about obviously all this was going on with Rey Mysterio, and it's all about the Latino heritage, and he wants to be the hero, Rey's a criminal. They gave it all a bit of that. It wasn't very good. It wasn't a very good segment. I'd only rate it about a 4 out of 10. Andrade did a little bit of English at the end. Yeah, it works great, doesn't it, with them two? Because Selena's pretty good at what she does, and Andrade's pretty good at what he does in the ring. So it works well, their arrangement. We had a response from Rey. It went from one segment and transitioned, I think, straight to Rey Mysterio's response. And interesting thing with Rey Mysterio, does he ever age? I mean, I know he wears a mask. You can't actually see him. But to me, he just looks the same now as he did in 2009. I watched 2009 Royal Rumble the other day because WWE uploaded it on their YouTube channel. And to me, Rey just doesn't look any different. He hasn't aged. It's quite astonishing. It's quite a sight. He looks exactly the same. Randy Orton as well. Since 2009, they've not aged a day. Maybe they'll go on till they're 60. But anyway, he goes on about sacrificing his career. He's willing to sacrifice it for the US title. I believe I said at the start of this review that I thought AJ Styles was the US title, the champion. He's not, is he? It's Andrade. Andrade is the US champion. And yeah, Andrade is the US champion. And basically Rey's going to challenge him. They're going to have a ladder match. Rey's going on about he's going to be willing to sacrifice his career for this one. I think he's been through worse than just one ladder match in terms, but you know, he's building it up. He's giving it the all it needs. Maybe it'll end up between Andrade versus Dominic at WrestleMania. It won't, but who knows? You imagine he'll get involved at some point. This led on to Buddy Murphy versus Aleister Black. Now, the rivalry hasn't really been interesting. The matches you could say have been probably good. They're good wrestlers, so you'd expect the matches to be good. But the rivalry hasn't been great. And they had a third match this week on Raw. I was expecting Buddy Murphy to win this match to sort of get his, you know, momentum back, to actually get him into this rivalry a bit. It was a good match. It was a back and forth match. The fans were into it, which is nice, because the fans wasn't into much on that show, bar the Heyman-Lesnar promo. And I think at the start with Drew and that, they give it a little bit, but the fans are always hyped up on the first segment of the show, aren't they? So yeah, there was the match. It got a good reaction. It got the "This is awesome." I know it doesn't mean much these days, the "This is awesome" chant. It's pretty easy to get these days, but it got a "This is awesome" chant. The match was good. There was lots of kicks, as you'd expect with them too. There was a black mass, which I thought was going to be the end of the match. There was a kick out by Buddy Murphy. He kicked out of the black mass. It was a very weird one because he was on the mat. He was lying back, and it didn't look like he kicked out. But apparently, according to the ref, he jolted his shoulder slightly off the mat, warranted the match to continue. I don't get it. I think it was a botch because he black masked him straight after that to actually pick up the win. It was probably a botch. There's channels for that if you want to watch the botches. That happened. I was shocked. I was shocked that Buddy lost. I didn't get it. What I didn't realise is the fact that Buddy lost was going to play clearly quite a significant role in the end of Monday Night Raw. I thought it was weird. I thought it was weird that he lost. I guess it made a little bit more sense when the show came to a close, as I'll get to. On to the main event now. I don't know if there was anything in between that. To be honest, doesn't really matter. I've covered the main bits. So we got onto the main event, which was set up earlier in a previous segment. Actually, no, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. It was set last week, wasn't it? When Big Show returned and knocked Seth Rollins out. And it was like, I don't know what they called it. They gave it a really weird tag. It's basically like a no-holds-barred match, but they gave it a silly tag this week. So it was a 6-man tag. Then it started. Big Show got a cane, a kendo stick, and he was using it. I mean, as if Big Show needs a weapon. So it was Big Show, Samoa Joe, and Kevin Owens versus the AOP and Seth Rollins. They actually got themselves a name yet. I don't think they actually have a team name yet, do they? They'll probably get to that. Because what with AEW at the minute, what you've got Jericho in his Inner Circle, which is cool now. But I'm a big Chris Jericho fan. I have been for a long time. I'm digressing greatly, but I'm a big Chris Jericho fan, so Chris Jericho's doing a good job in AEW, isn't he? Anyway, I'm off track. Basically, Big Show used a weapon. There was lots of spots in this match. It was a spotty match. There was lots of King sort of analogies and bad dad jokes, as there was throughout the whole show. But you know, King's back. It's King. He's stuck in the 90s, but we love him, right? There was lots of spots in this match. A few people threw tables, but the highlight, the absolute highlight of the match, was Kevin Owens. He had this moment where the AOP was slightly just to the left off stage, and obviously the stage sort of like scoops up now. It's the new Raw design. It's quite odd, and Kevin Owens parkoured up the side of the stage like a solo skateboard, and he did his little flip off the stage, parkouring. One of the best things I've seen on Monday Night Raw in a long, long time. And whatever happens this year, that's one thing that's going to get shown an awful lot through the future. It's a Raw moment. It's a big Raw moment. And it saved the match. It was really good. It was really good. I'm just thinking about it now. It was really, really impressive how he did it. He parkour, did a flip. Just a standard flip, you know, just standard flip, but really impressive balance from KO, how he pulled it off. And it saved the match, because it was just basically lots of spots. It wasn't really very impressive. So basically, you had Samoa Joe, KO, and AOP. They were all sort of down and out, top of the ramp, top of the stage. Big Show was in the ring with Rollins. Seth Rollins calls to Buddy Murphy, who apparently is still sitting at ringside after his loss, contemplating what he's going to do for his life, what he's going to do to revive his career. I didn't even know he was still at ringside. But Seth's like, Buddy! Hey Buddy! I need you, man! So Seth Rollins getting his ass kicked by the Big Show. All of a sudden Buddy comes in from behind. Low blow. We've seen loads of blows. We've seen loads of low blows in the WWE as of late, haven't we? And we saw another one with Buddy Murphy. He low blow Big Show. He teamed up with Seth. AOP found their way back to the ring. They beat down Big Show, and it ended with a hug from Seth Rollins inviting Buddy Murphy into this little group they've got, into this little clan, which Buddy Murphy accepted. Why wouldn't he? His career was over 5 minutes ago after losing that rivalry to Aleister Black. I wonder what they were going to do with Buddy Murphy. I found out they're going to chuck him with Seth Rollins. Is this interesting, you might say? Yeah, it is interesting at the minute. There's some, I guess there'll be a little bit of hype, there'll be a bounce. Will it last? Will it work? I don't know, because I look at that team. You got now AOP, you've got Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. I see talent there. I don't really see charisma. I don't see much charisma at all, and that's probably a problem. So I don't think it will last. I don't know how it'll work, but I guess it's something, isn't it? It's giving Seth Rollins something to focus on. It's giving Buddy Murphy something to be a part of. So let's just see how it unfolds. But it was an interesting end to Raw. I give it probably a 7 out of 10 all in total. The match and the Buddy Murphy joining. A large part of the high rating for that one is partly down to the fact that Kevin Owens decided to just completely defy the law of physics with that stage super jump off the ramp onto AOP and I think Samoa Joe. And it was, like I said, it's going to go down as a raw moment. It's going to go down. It's going to be great, as Donald Trump says. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to make WWE great again. Just that one moment will make the WWE great again. It was that good. And if you haven't watched it, watch it. I'm sure it's on the WWE YouTube channel. Looking back, it was one of these Raws we've had a lot of lately. There was good moments, there was moments, and there was moments. I had to give like the entire show a rating 6.5. 6.5, I think. It was just above average. I'm probably going to give it maybe a 7 because you had some great improvisation from Paul Heyman. And then obviously at the end you had Kevin Owens doing the super jump that just defied all laws of physics and gravity, which was brilliant. Drew's a face now. I didn't even know because like I said, I haven't been watching that much over the last few weeks. So yeah, we'll give the show 6.5 out of 10 in total. I believe I rated all the segments. There could have been stuff I missed, but you know what? This is my first time reviewing. I'll get better and I won't miss things in the future. But anyway, I guess I should wrap that up now. I'm probably going to have to do editing. I will, as I start doing more, producing more content, I will start editing more and more. But at the minute, it's probably going to be quite raw. It's probably going to be uploaded as it is. I haven't really got great audio. I'll get to that, don't worry. I got good lighting, but audio-wise, it ain't there at the minute. As for what else I will do on this channel, I am going to upload an intro video. I have waffled on for far too long. I am going to upload an intro video to this channel where I'll talk about a little bit more what I plan to actually do with it. But as I said, it was mainly here to talk about wrestling to start with, just because I'm just trying to find a way to get interested in the WWE again. And I thought if I talk about it, and if I upload it, it gives me something to focus on. It gives me something to talk about. It gives me a reason to watch. You dig? So anyway, a like would be very much appreciated. Anybody actually watching or viewing would also be appreciated. Comment. I'd love to hear some comments. And I'd love to reply to them. If you have anything that I've missed, anything you don't agree with, anything you do agree with, literally anything you want to ask about the show, about Raw this week, 13th of January 2020, just drop it in the comments. I will reply. I will look forward to the discussion. And for the next review, I might even talk about it if it's a really, really good point. So I will create a Twitter account for this channel. And I'll post all of that in the description box, which will be down there. And I'll get on all that. I will do a Twitter account. So yeah, like, comment. I very much enjoyed waffling to my camera for probably way too longer than what I needed to. And I will see you Friday. I'll review SmackDown. I'll be Raw, SmackDown. That's all I'll do at the minute. We'll see how it goes. I'm taking too long to end this video. So yes, like, comment, a subscription. Now that would be nice, but I'm not going to force you. It is all up to you, isn't it? And peace, bitches.